Okay, I think we're live. So welcome everyone to our final genre talk for 2019. You're here with me, Nicki Markus, and my good friend Alina Popescu. And we are just basically this month doing a bit of a roundup of what we've been doing during the year and what our plans are for genre talk as we move into 2020. If you're new here and you don't know me, my name is Nicki. I'm an author and editor, and I post videos here on YouTube about writing, editing, reading, and all the other things I love. And I'll just pass over to Alina and let her tell you about herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alina. I'm a fiction writer. I write. Sorry, that was my YouTube. If you could hear that, I'm sorry. I write mystery, sci-fi and fantasy, and contemporary romance, and I do stuff here on YouTube. And I'm quite frazzled today, which is par for the course at this point.
Which makes two of us, because as I was saying to Alina before we went live, it's about 38, 39 degrees here. That's Celsius, American people. I don't know Fahrenheit conversion for you, but it's hot. So if I'm looking a little bit shiny and warm today on the video, that's why.
It's fine. I'll calculate it in a second now, because.
Right.
102.2 Fahrenheit. So
there you go, people.
And I'm at the other end of the spectrum, which is -1, which would be 30 Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But you know, I'm happy because it's getting warmer here. So 30 is warmer at this point. So it's good. It's good. It could be worse. Like, you know. 30 is warmer at this point. Oh my God! Why? It's there's everywhere. That was from Twitter, by the way. It's okay. It's lovely. It's gorgeous. I love it. Oh my God. Yes. So, how do you feel, Nicki, about another full year of genre talk and read-alongs?
I think it's going to be fun. We've got quite a lot of genres still to cover with our read-alongs, so yeah. We've got plenty of interesting ones, and actually quite a lot of the ones that are coming up still are ones that I don't particularly read. So it's good for me to try something new as well for the new year.
Same. Same about trying new things and also trying things I was planning on trying for like years and finally getting to do
gives you the motivation to do it. Yep.
Yeah, because I kept like our last read, Manuel Lescaut, was one of those books that I've been kind of thinking about reading since I was in high school, and I did it this year. So. You know, it's good. It's good. But that's the beauty of it. I think the more you go through the various genres, you discover that even if you try your best to read a broad spectrum of books, at some point you get limited by what you think you like the most.
Yeah.
And there are so many books in those subgenres that it's hard to keep trying new things, and I think that's what I like about what we're doing with the read-alongs, because we at least get one book in a different genre.
Yeah, and I think, as you're saying, if you've tried a few things in a genre before and haven't liked it, you're less likely to want to spend money trying different subgenres within that genre when you've got other stuff that you like that you want to spend the money on.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And in those cases, it's good to use your friendly library or a service like Scribd, as opposed to, you know, Kindle Unlimited, because I have nothing against Kindle Unlimited for readers. I have my thoughts on it as an author, but for readers, I definitely understand the appeal. But the problem with Kindle Unlimited is that it's restrictive. It demands that you're exclusive. So a lot of other mainstream genres, well, no, not mainstream, I'd say just traditionally published books will never be in it. So probably less, let's say, literary fiction or non-fiction be found in Kindle Unlimited if it's traditionally published.
Yeah.
So yeah, makes it hard to venture outside of certain genres if you have that kind of subscription. which again,
They're talking
nothing.
of libraries. I ought to tell you, Alina, because the book we'll be reading in January, which we'll talk about again towards the end of the stream, is a sci-fi book, which I borrowed from the library, and I borrowed it last week, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. So I went straight back and got book 2, which I've already read, and I've got book 3 on request. Yeah, book 3 is on request. It's out on loan at the moment, but it's really bugging me because they've only got 1 copy of book 4 at the moment, and because it's classed as a new book, you can't put it on hold. So I'm like, what am I going to do when I've read book 3? It's like I'm enjoying them, but I don't know if I love them enough that I'd want to buy them. But I'll want to read book 4 before the novel length one comes out next year.
Yeah, I mean, like when I read the series, book 4 was marketed as the resolution to the series, and I was so sad. And then my friend who actually recommended the series was like, "No, you're stupid. Look here, check these things before you commit. Like, look, it's coming out next year." And I was like, "Oh my God, more murder bot." I completely loved it. That's so up my alley. It was ridiculous. So yeah, but we'll talk about that later. I'm rereading.
Yeah, we don't have preempt our discussion next month. Yes, but
I'm rereading it for the read along though, because I want to have it fresh in my mind, and I want book 1 to be fresh in my mind, because at this point I can't. I mean, I know what happened then, but I might mix some of the details, so I'd rather very fresher. Also, I missed Murder Bot, and there's a long wait until next year. So yes, but yeah, like I would like to point out that things like Overdrive exist, and that's pretty much a library aggregator. And it's pretty much if you have a library subscription and they're part of Overdrive in any way, you can even borrow ebooks. So
I'll have to have a look. So maybe I can get book 4 as an ebook.
Yeah, or audiobook, it might work. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money on books. I understand reading budgets, because at this point, like in November, I worked a lot. I wrote a lot. I edited a lot. I had a release. My reading time was limited, and I still went through, I don't know, around 15 books.
Yeah.
15 books a month, of which, I don't know, like 5 or 6 were audiobooks. That costs a lot. It's a huge budget. So if you have any kind of subscription or library service, that works great. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I wouldn't sign up for Kindle Unlimited if it was available here. And I do it to support some people who are in Kindle Unlimited. That's true. So I'm really grateful something like Scribd exists that's available almost worldwide, because I can't use Overdrive because my local libraries are very limited, and I do not need books in Romanian. Thank you very much. I don't need them. I don't read books in Romanian because I would just do it for local authors, of which I enjoy very few. And for the rest, why would I read the translation in Romanian, which is bound to be bad lately? Sorry, when I could read in English.
Yeah.
Why? But yeah, I do understand the need for kind of limiting your book spend, especially if you read a lot. If you read a book or 2 a month, this is not the problem. It's really not the problem. But when you read, like my friend Katie, I was talking to her and she said she read 5 Kindle Unlimited books in 48 hours, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
That will kill your budget. Okay, maybe Katie is not the best example, because after she reads them, she usually goes and buys them because she wants to have. But it's a lot. It's a lot of books. There are a lot of people who read 1 or 2 books a day. It piles up. I do understand it. So maybe look into libraries as well and other alternatives if you don't have Kindle Unlimited. If it helps you read more, I'm all for it. And let's face it, if we don't start doing something about libraries, they're closed down, all of them. And that would be a shame.
I'm reading quite a lot of manga from the library at the moment, because where I'm trying different series, I don't know if I'm going to like them. I don't want to commit to spending. So, but it does annoy me when they've got like 6. There was 7-volume series, and they've got books 1 to 6 and not 7. I'm just like, why?
Yeah,
why?
that's painful.
But yeah, I mean,
if I had any sort of library access to a library that has international books, I'd go there. I'd go and pay monthly fees, and I wouldn't care, just to support them. But unfortunately, it doesn't exist for me right now. But I remember that growing up, the library was a very important thing for me. There's a scene in one of my books where 2 of my characters go to their grandparents' village, and they walk by the old library, and they discover it's been just boarded up. It no longer exists, and it breaks their heart. And that's actually based on a real life experience, and I cried that day. Because when I was there on summer vacations, I was at the library every other day getting a new book. I would have probably read more if I wasn't that busy running and climbing trees and playing all day. But it was an important part of my life until I became an adult and I could afford to buy all the books I wanted. Because limited budget, especially when you're a kid. Plus, I mean, if you need any sort of nonfiction for school or just for your own research, it's going to be tough to afford all of that, especially when you're very young. So yeah, it's an important part, and I think we don't talk about it enough.
When I was little, it's a service they don't do anymore now. But when I was a child, they used to do a library bus, and it used to drive up our street once a week. And obviously it was just tiny, but there's a selection of mix of kids and adults books. So you'd borrow the book from the bus, and then when the bus came the next week, you'd take it back and get a new one.
Oh, nice.
So that was nice for people who couldn't get out easily. Like when my parents had us as small children, or if you're elderly and you couldn't get to the library, then that was a really good service.
That was so cool. Yeah. So I think still overall the biggest takeaway I have from this year is to just push yourself to try very different genres. And I mean, you might end up not liking the book as much as you wanted, but I don't think you can dislike something on principle without having tried it once, because some books might surprise you. I'm really grateful with this, because honestly, there are some books I would have never read, like Kiss of the Spider Woman. I wouldn't have gotten that book on my own. I didn't even know it existed, and it did things to my soul. It wasn't a pleasant read in any way, but it was a read I enjoyed. It sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like, go back and watch our conversation on this. And I think like I had 2 avenues to read more. It was our genre talk, and then it was the writer's workshop that Tamara did, where we were just reading kind of writing related craft and business books.
Right. Yeah.
Which also helped, because honestly, I had some of these books, or I could get them easily, and then I never read them because reading fiction is more fun. But then the more I read, the more I was like, oh my God, I'm so silly. This is really helpful. So yeah, whatever you can find to read more outside of your comfort zone, take it. Like, definitely that.
I think for me it's been quite a bumper reader year for me. I mean, I always put my Goodreads goal around 150, and I often get to about 200. This year I'm actually up to 366 so far.
Wow.
Which is mostly due to manga though, because probably 100 roughly, just under, is where I've started reading manga.
To be honest, I don't count manga that I read.
You should. It's still a book.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's I don't.
So that's something that I've started enjoying, and I tend to not, that doesn't really interrupt my normal reading, because occasionally I've read one at night if I haven't had anything else sitting waiting, but mostly that's an afternoon read for me, or I take one to work so I can get through one in my lunch hour, like a volume. So that's kind of like become an addition to my normal nighttime reading.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. What I've noticed is that I listen to far more audiobooks this year because of Script.
Yeah.
And also because I listen to audiobooks while I do errands. So if I walk to the shops and back, I get like 30 to 45 minutes of listening time. I listen to books in either 2 times or 2.5 times the speed, the normal speed. So that makes me go through a lot more. And I also listen to audiobooks when I work out, which I didn't do that much this year, let's face it, but it's still amounted to some. And I do listen to a lot of audiobooks when I draw.
Right.
I mean, draw or paint, unless I am watching a tutorial for the drawing.
Right.
But typically, if I draw something, I'll be listening to audiobooks. So as the number of hours I dedicated to drawing and art in general increased, so did my listening time.
Yes.
I think my goal was either 60 or 100 books. I'm well over that because I had like about 3 months of over 20 books each.
Yes.
So that took care of the goal. But I think I'll keep it to 60 to 100 books for the next year because I never know what happens. Like this month, I've barely finished 1 book. I'm like halfway through like another 3 or 4, but things just happen and I stop and switch. Like I'm in the middle of 3 audiobooks right now, and it's just a mood thing. So probably by the end of the month I'll finish them all and I'll still get to 10 books. But if I get into a sort of a funk where I'm just too tired to even focus on reading, I want to not stress about that goal as well. To be fair, my goals for next year are kind of, how should I put this? Terrifying. That's a good word. Terrifying. So I want to give myself 1 goal that I know I'll hit. So 60 to 100 books, more than doable. That's like less than 10 books a month, which I consistently read over 10 books. So, you know, because otherwise I feel really disappointed when I don't achieve this particular goal. When it's a reading goal, I feel like devastated. Like, oh my God, I haven't read enough. It's a tragedy. And then I remember there are people who read like 10 books a year. So maybe I should get a grip, but I don't, because I mean, I feel like writing is what I love, but I love it because I love reading. And if I'm not reading, I feel like I'm not doing the thing I love most, if that makes sense. So, I feel like I, as a writer, have a lot to lose if reader me doesn't do her job. Because you always learn from other books. If it's lessons on what not to do, you always learn. It's fine.
While we're talking about goals, perhaps I should say I did a reading challenge that I set up this year. And I've got another one that I'm going to be doing for next year.
Yeah,
which will be
I do that because at some point I knew where I was. With your reading challenge, and I kept it in mind that as I was reading through the year, but I never just marked off what I got.
Marked them off, and you've probably done them all. So
because I'm an idiot. But I'm sorry, I'm going to do it for my end of the year wrap up. I'm sorry.
That's
it's not like it was ever out of my mind, but I just never. Whatever.
Well, I will be launching the one for next year next week. There'll be a post on my blog on Tuesday, and I'll also tweet it and everything at that point too. So there'll be 25 categories again, but some the same as this year, but some different ones as well. So
that's so awesome.
Do check that out on my blog and Twitter on Tuesday.
That's so cool. I love reading challenges. I realize I don't do well with marathons because it depends on when they happen.
Yes.
If it
You
works
could just
out
get
with
a
my
bad
schedule,
point.
yeah, it's not something I can do, but I do use marathons, reading challenges, and reading marathons to readathons actually to inspire my reading choices, if that
Yes.
makes sense. Because I wanted to do Spookathon this year. Because I think it's the first ever readathon I did, and I enjoyed the idea of Spookathon. But then it's a late summer, early autumn readathon, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when things go kind of insane for me.
Right.
It's self-inflicted. Before that, it was November because, nano. But then, Inktober became a thing. And then I decided also to do November. And I know that next year it will be worse because I want to do the autumn trifecta with Sketchtember, Inktober, and November.
Right.
But it will be like a larger project for all three of them.
Yes. Sure.
So I know readathons can't happen unless someone wants to do one in the limited time a year where I actually take breaks. So
yes,
if there's any readathon happening between Christmas and January 6th, please let me know. Because that's my almost 2-week break. So yeah, that's great. So I can do them, but reading challenges that are longer, like yours, I find those super cool. Because it's also kind of low key, low involvement.
Yes.
I think with readathon, it's all the post all the time and challenges and it's just too much.
Yeah. And for those of you who like to cheat at challenges, or not cheat, but I do allow on mine, if one covers 2 categories, you can count it as like 2 ticks. So
yeah, but I think that's on most readathons.
Yeah, you don't have to do all 25 if some cover a couple of categories. So
also, kids, if you track your time, your work time, remember to start your trackers and your app. It's okay. I'm special that way. At this point, like at least once a day, I know that during my downtime, like when I'm taking a break to eat breakfast or lunch or whatever, I have to start the productivity app to just make up for the time I didn't track.
Yes.
It's lovely. So do you feel like any of this whole genre talk, conversation, and the read-alongs have kind of enticed you to try and write something new, genre-wise?
I don't think particularly at this stage. I think it's definitely changed or affected my approach to how I'm reading certain genres and approaching certain genres, which maybe I'd been a bit hesitant about before. Probably not the writing side, because my writing's been really sporadic and all over the place this year, and I've had little dips of motivation and things like that. So I'm in one. I haven't written anything for ages. I'm in a little one at the moment where I've just got all this other stuff that I'm enjoying doing instead, and I'd have to stop doing that to work on the writing. Which if I haven't got that spark for it at the moment, I'd just be sitting there annoyed that I wasn't doing the other stuff. So I'm having a sort of little mini break, at least till the end of the year. So probably because I haven't been writing as well that much this year in comparison to previous years, it's not really been a factor. But what about you?
I mean,
you're pretty multi-genre anyway.
Yeah, I had a huge problem to just grouping what I write within like 3 main areas so that I can get my introduction done in less than half an hour. But I do feel that all the reading we did kind of informed my genre choice because we talked about mystery a lot, and I started reading mystery slowly, but then I felt like this year I read so many mysteries. Like I read Josh Lenian's like entire backlist, and she has like 100 books or something published. So I read all of Claire's. I read most of Patty Larson's cozy series. I think I'm on book 7 or 8. I read C.S. Poe's entire catalog. So, you know, I've been doing well reading wise, and I think it was because I was kind of tempted to write mysteries, and Claire had been encouraging me for a while to just give it a try. She thought it would be a good fit for me. Apparently, she was right. So my reading did inform my genre choice. But I think I've also changed my perspective to how I approach publishing because of business reasons, but also because my reading experience. Because it's annoying when you have like 5 series started by an author, all in different genres, and you have 1 or 2 books in each series. That's annoying. So why is it okay for me to do it?
Yes.
So my writing and publishing has been more focused. Because I mean, I got certain books to at least the 3rd book in the series, and I have plans to do that for all my series that I've started. And with new series, I wrote consistently. So Just Don't has now 7 books out, and I'm working on the next batch of 3 that will wrap up the series. Owl is now at book 3. It's just been released, and I'm already working on book 4. And the same goes for the cozy. So I'm trying to keep a more reader-friendly release schedule and not make people wait for like 2 years between books, because I've done that in the past. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's annoying, and it affects everyone. It annoys readers, and it affects my sales. So I'm a bit more aware of that and of how fast people put out books in certain genres, and I'm more aware of the fact that I'm an indie. Like, there's no excuse for me to wait for 2 years to release a book in a series, especially if I'm releasing other books. Like, there's no excuse. There's nothing stopping me. It's just that I've gotten distracted by something shiny and went to chase it.
Yes.
Basically. But it's hard when you have so many ideas, and the way I've managed that is to just plan it out. Because if my brain knows I'm going to get to that book, it bugs me less.
Yeah.
So that's it. Plus, I think I've also realized that sometimes it's okay to give up on series. Like, you don't have to keep going. Like, if you've released enough books that it's a complete series and you don't really feel like going and it doesn't get as much interest as you wanted, it's fine to just drop it. Or do a relaunch. Those work too. I've done a lot of things of that kind this year. It's been a year of a lot of experimenting for me, I guess. And the thing that I enjoyed most was discovering how different genres have a slightly different tropes and slightly different covers, and the difference between an indie cover and the traditional published cover, and how sometimes indies are more focused on communicating genre and type of books and things like that, because they need to sell, and they need to be fast about grabbing a reader's attention.
Yes.
Because you don't have the same marketing budget a traditional publisher would have. So you have to get smarter about it. So it was a really nice learning experience, taking things from all these various genres and trying to learn from them. So, yeah. Did you change your approach at all in how you publish, at least? Or
Not really. So I didn't have that many publications this year. I had Blood is Forever, obviously, which has been my best success so far in writing. But that was published through 9 Star Press, so I wasn't really involved. I mean, I obviously did my own promotion, but just the same as I always do. All the publication stuff comes from them. And then the only other book I had really released this year was a short story that came out just last week from Dream Spinner Press as part of their Christmas anthology advent calendar thing. So again, that's I did a bit of promo. I didn't do a huge amount of promo for that one, as it's just a little short. But it's just up to them how they put it all together again. So I haven't particularly done anything else really majorly different or exciting this year.
At least, you did kind of give into some pressure, and there may be a sequel to Blood is Forever.
Yes. I mean, I've had quite a few people asking for it, and I mean, my answer at the moment is I wouldn't be averse to doing one, but I'd really want to feel that I had a strong story and that I wasn't just writing it for the sake of writing a sequel. So if an idea comes to me, then I'm open to doing it, but it's not kind of first on my list at the moment because I haven't got a stellar idea for it at the moment.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, if you ask me. So let's go into what are we looking forward to next year and what genre talk is concerned.
Yes, so we've still got a few things in our kind of topic category where we're just discussing things rather than doing a read along. So in February, we're going to be talking transmedia. In April, we're going to do a bit of an interview. So in the new year, we'll be asking for questions from you. What would you like us to answer as authors or readers, a bit of both? And then as we move later in the year, we'll talk about the development of genre through history and then what we think the future role of genre might be. And then alongside that, we've obviously got all our read-alongs. So I've got the list in front of me. We are starting in January with sci-fi, which we'll announce the book and everything in a minute. And we've still got a few coming up, mystery, historical, horror, thriller, manga graphic novels, non-fiction, and holiday-themed stories are all still in our pot. So they may come in that order, they may not, depending on what books we get ideas for that we want to try. But all those are definitely lined up.
For some, not for all. So if you have any recommendations, the comment section is always open. But that's what I'm also looking forward to. So it will be a new year of a lot of stuff happening. So let's talk about January's book, I guess.
Yep. So this is an Alina choice. So do you want to introduce it?
If I would not have completely blanked out on the other name, that would be
Martha
great.
Wells.
Martha Wells, that's it. I was remembering Wells, but I wanted to say Mary, and I knew it wasn't Mary. I'm horrible with names. If anyone was still thinking I might pull it off someday, so we've chosen All Systems Red, which is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. It's a very interesting sci-fi tale about Segbot, so a security robot that turned fully sentient, and he could run havoc and kill all humans, but he's too busy watching media. So, kind of like me, who, because I watch a lot of TV shows and anime series, like I could do a lot of things if I weren't watching all that stuff all the time. It's a funny yet surprisingly deep tale at times. It's a very interesting look into human nature from the perspective of a murder bot. They're kind of short. I think they're novella size. So
novella length,
it would be a very quick read. If you're into audiobooks, the audiobook is available on Script. And Nicki found her books at the local library, so we definitely encourage you to do that. And we do hope that you read along with us. We will be discussing this in January. probably the second week, because on the first week I'm on break.
Yeah, first half of January at some point. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this because I don't think I've had a voluntary vacation in about 3 years.
Right.
So I had vacations that were enforced on me because I was sick or there was stuff going on with my family and I had to attend those. But this is the first voluntary holiday I've had in forever. So if I go a bit overboard, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah. I'm not sure. Is there a link to the book in the description?
No,
Already?
but I can pop one in there.
We will add it. That's what I was going to say. We will add it. I'll try to also do a mention of it on my channel at some point during the live streams this month, so that we remind you of it, and maybe more of us will discuss it. If not, it's fine, because I could talk about Murderbot like forever.
One thing I will say, we don't want to sort of preempt the talk too much, but if like me, you're approaching sci-fi going, oh, I really dislike sci-fi, I would say to you, as Alina said, this is only novella length, and it is a very light sci-fi. There's not a lot of major scientific talk, which is what usually puts me off some of those big chunky sci-fi novels. So if you're a little bit hesitant about approaching it, it's not one of those traditional heavy science novels. As Alina said, it's quite humorous and fairly light. So give it a try, even if it's not your usual genre.
Like people act like, and Murderbot, who's the narrator, acts like he was created in this world, so the technology is there and it just exists. Because I mean, if you tell a story to someone and you were like, I was typing on my computer, you don't start to explain how the computer works. But I think it has enough science for it to be firmly placed in the science fiction category, and I like their take on it. But I wouldn't call it hard sci-fi.
No, there's no like Neil Stephenson like pages and pages of like scientific waffle about drives and things.
No.
So
what I mean by that is that it's not the most plausible of sci-fi. Like for me, light and like hard sci-fi and light sci-fi, for me the difference is between whether it's plausible or not, or if it's something where you take liberties so that it works, like I don't know, quick terraforming, or having a special material to terraform stuff, or there's a hyperdrive or whatever, something that allows you to travel at faster than light speed, which is a technical impossibility as far as we know. That's what I meant. But even for a lighter sort of sci-fi, it's not heavy on the science stuff. It explains enough so that you know what's going on and what he's doing at all points, which I find really refreshing. But like I said, I feel like this is more of a interesting look into human nature than anything. And a very funny look at it. It's he's hilarious. He's hysterical. I love Murderbot. If it wasn't obvious. So yeah, if you're not the kind of person that enjoys sci-fi a lot, you'll probably still love this book. If there's a sci-fi you love, it's this one.
Yeah.
I feel. So yeah, you should definitely join us.
So, I mean, on that note, I think we've kind of covered what we're going to talk about next time. So, do you have any announcements for the end of the year? Anything you want to share with us, Alina?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things going on. First of all, my third cozy mystery, but the second book in the series, because the first one is a prequel. Murderous Ties is going to be released on December 20. It's on pre-order now on Amazon, Kobo, and Google, Google Play. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm still in edits right now, as any super professional indie author would do. It's fine. It's going to be fine. That's it. My plan for next year is to have a less tight of a schedule for everything.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there. And currently my Christmas gay romance, that's called an ex, a dog, an ex, and wait, an ex, a dog, and Winter Wonderlands. I'm a mess today. It's on sale on 3 different sites, so it's 99 cents on all Amazon sites. It's 99 cents currently on Kobo, part of their holiday romance giveaway, sale, not giveaway. And it's also 99 cents on Smashwords. And as far as Smashwords and Amazon go, it will stay like that until the end of the year. And the Kobo sale is going up until Christmas. So it's a long sale. You have time to pick it up. And other than that, I do have a lot of changes coming to my YouTube channel. I'm kind of changing my approach to it and what things I have planned for next year. There's going to be a dramatic series of videos that's called Battle of the Book series. It will be interesting. You'll see me devolve even further into madness. It's fine. And there will be an announcement video on this sometime before Christmas. So yeah, that's everything I've been up to. I've been a busy girl, even if I procrastinated half of last week because I was too tired. But here we are. I'm still doing stuff, and I'm going to overwork myself for the next 2 weeks just so that I don't have to bite into my vacation time.
Yes. Yes.
I'm guarding that so viciously. So what do you have planned for the, end of the year and new things coming up?
Yes, well, obviously, as I said, my Christmas story came out. It's called A Stitch in Time, and it's under my pen name, Astrodonia. So that's available now across the usual places, Amazon and the like, which is just a contemporary seasonal short story about a young man who decides to attend a crochet class, meets the guy of his dreams, but the guy unfortunately thinks he's there for the boxing. And there's a lot of sort of mistakes and confusion going on before they finally, obviously it's a Christmas romance, it's going to have a happy ending, so they will work it all out in the end. But I hope you'll give that a try.
I remember I saw your video on this one. I was like, oh my God, it sounds so cool.
So,
like, great, fantastic.
So that's my last release for this year. As I said, I've been sort of quiet writing-wise this year. So I don't have anything absolutely set in stone for next year yet, but I will obviously be doing updates as we move into the new year once I see what I'm writing.
We have one project happening this year.
Oh, so we're still working on the Ragnarok Chronicles, so that will be happening.
Don't crush my hope.
No, it's happening at some point during the next year when we get around to it. So it's I haven't got any dates for you, but it will happen. But in terms of other new stuff from the LGBT side of things, I haven't got anything definite locked in yet. But we'll see what happens with my writing motivation and bits in the new year, because I do have several projects on the go. It's just getting back into the swing of them. So I'll keep you posted anyway on social media about that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like I said, a small roundup. Our book for the next read along is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. It's the first book in the Murderbot diaries, and we'll be back early in January, probably the second Sunday. Well, wait, no, I think that's wrong. Sorry, I have to check this. No, actually, it will be the second Sunday, probably.
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe I get 2 Sundays in the break, so because when January 1st starts, because I might be like, oh no, it's 2 Sundays. No, it's cool. So but we'll announce that at some point. We'll create a live stream for it, and you can watch it. No, you can watch it. Like, set a reminder. That's what I'm.
Yeah, we'll be back on Alina's channel for that one. So
yeah. We'll be over on my channel for that one, and then return here in February to talk transmedia, which I'm looking forward to, because kind of works into my future plans and what I'm trying to research at the moment. So that could be a riveting conversation. And if you have any suggestions for us in terms of books or aspects you would want us to discuss or questions, you can start asking them now for the mock interview.
April.
Yeah, we're doing so. Just start asking. We're more than happy to answer or research or do whatever it's needed. So that's about it.
Okay, we will end there, everyone. Thanks for watching. And any questions, as Alina said, pop them in the comments or send us them on Twitter, and we'll put them in our pile ready for the April. We will see you all again very soon. Hope you will have a good end to the year, however and whatever you're celebrating. And we'll see you soon.
Bye
everyone.